Y'all, we are here reporting to you live from the first annual Side Chick of the Year Awards. And this year's award goes to, drum roll, please. Baby, we are back with another episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And we got to talk about some things popping off in the news. First things first is Melody's new single, Side Chick Award. Okay, now in this here single, Melody goes inwards. I mean, she goes in on the side chicks out there. Okay, she say, her and her friends, they be roasting the good old side chick. Oh, yes, they does. And I'm gonna give y'all, my real opinion. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all my real opinion on this. I had this song on repeat yesterday. I was listening to I said, let me check it out. And I said, let me give it a listen to while I was doing some work. And I said, we're gonna see how I like it. You know what I'm saying? And don't you know, after about 15 minutes, I realized I had this song on repeat while I was working. So that just gives you an idea of what this song is. It's ear candy. I don't know if it was just Melody in the room writing or whoever was on the writing team, but what they did that works so well in music in general is that it had, don't take this the wrong way, it had that nursery rhyme rhythm. But you know what that means. When you have that little rhythm that sounds, gives you nursery rhyme type feeling, that means you got a hook, okay? You got a catchy ditty right there. You got something that people can listen to on repeat. You got something that people can hums to. You got something that's repetitive that will be ingrained in your brain. And because we know exactly what she's talking about here, or we can make an inference, okay, we know that this is basically Melody capitalizing off of the drama that she has experienced, which makes this song hit even more hard. You know what I'm saying? So you got real life, okay? You got what we've seen on the show. You got the situation with side chicks, okay, that people always understand. It's never going to go out of style. There's always going to be a side chick, or a side dude or a side hustle or whatever you want to call it. All right. So she got something relatable on her hands. Okay. Skye Squad, we back in the building, as you guys can see. Shout out to Melody and her new single. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I gotta give it up to her on this one. I mean, and I say, girl, go ahead and capitalize off of it as much as you want. Okay. Go ahead and capitalize off it. All right. But in the same vein, at the same time that Melody is releasing her single, okay, we got Miss Arion releasing hers too, okay, but it ain't no single. It's a trip to the mall. All right, it's a good old trip to the mall. Shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk for capturing this. And who do we spot in the background? Who? Let's take a little gander. Look closely, y'all. Who you see up in that background? Who you see? Who you see? You see it? Chime in when you sees it. Chime in when you sees it. You see him in the background. Creeping in the background. Now, I could have swore he said they were. The word on this curve was they wasn't together. Well, by the looks of this, they're not together either. He just in the background. Okay? He just in the bike. As Q always says, he's in the bike. I wonder who paying for the shopping trip. Okay, no more shopping sprees, no more late night creeps. They can do it out in public now. Okay, you ain't got to run around and hide nothing. Okay, you can just do it, and you can go shopping with bae or non-bae, whatever you want to call it. You can do your shopping out in the public now. All right. Now, that's his baby mama. So listen, at the end of the day, he might need to do some shopping for her. You know what I'm saying? She might need something. The kid might need something. You never know. Speaking of him and the kids, I ain't gonna show this picture, but Martell then posted. It ain't really a replica of the photo that Melody did, but it kind of is a replica. I'm not gonna show this photo because these are not my kids, okay? And you know, just in terms of putting it here on YouTube, I don't feel comfortable doing it. All right. But what I will say is that the photos are out there on his Instagram page and a couple of other pages that I know of and I love and respect. Did I even brush my beard today? I don't know. We'll get a little brusherization now. Anyway, the pictures is out there. Now, his photo looked like an interesting little replication of what Melody did, you know, when she did her African-inspired photo session. But is it me? Or did the kids look happier when they was with her? Okay. And he had his new baby in the photograph with them. So clearly he didn't told the kids, okay, his first kids about the new kid. I'm wondering how that conversation went down. Either that or the baby just showed up to the photo shoot. I don't know. What I do know is he didn't put it out there. Okay. He didn't put it out there. So yesterday was a whole mess, y'all. It was a whole mess. I was just like, what is, every time I opened up the gram, I was like, boom, boom, boom. Anyway, all in preparation for last night's episode of the Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 3 Reunion Part 3, which was amazing. If you happen to see it, okay? If you guys happen to see it, let me know in the chatterization what you guys will rate Part 3 of the reunion. All right? On a scale of 1 to 10. You know what? And maybe he was going for you know, a real hardcore look with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, more Zoolander and less happy. You know what I'm saying? Zoolander. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that was it. Yes, baby. Last night, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Last night's episode was a 10 for me. It was a 10 for me. It was the 10 for me. Okay. I absolutely loved it. We hit some points that we needed to touch on last night between the ladies. We hit some points that we needed to touch on between the mamas. And we got more than we bargained for. First things first, I got to ask y'all, where are these tapes that Miss Wanda is referring to about Miss Vanessa and Maurice and Marceau's brother? Where is these tapes? Latisha told us her mama heard about this on the interwebs. How would the interwebs know about this tape, these tapes that's out there or whatever? And, you know, where are the tapes? Okay. Can somebody tell me what the tapes are? Has somebody in the chat seen the tapes? I mean, if so, just tell me if they exist or whatever. I'm not gonna watch them because, you know, I'm trying to it's somebody's mama. So but I just want to know if they exist. Okay. Where the tapes at? Because Miss Wanda claiming that the tapes out there. Okay. And what she really said was if you had taught your daughter, okay, how to do some tapes like you, okay, then maybe she would still be married. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. We pick up with Latisha asking everyone to put some respect on her marriage. Marceau and Louis continue to go at it about opinions about marriage, and it just kind of concludes or whatever. And next we go into a section with just the ladies and the men all exit. Maurice and Marceau go into their little suite and they go and talk about, they go and talk about how Louis don't really know that much because he ain't had a successful marriage yet and he just in a new one. Louis goes to see Martell and they commiserate about how rough Louis and Tiffany had it and they wonder why the group wants to get dirt on them, which I feel like is an interesting question. I mean, if you want to find, I guess, dirt on them, I guess do the digging yourself. Why would they give it to you? Anyway, back on set, we get into Destiny versus Tiffany, okay? Because it's just the ladies left on set at this point. And we get a flashback of Tiffany expressing to Destiny at Destiny's birthday event how she first met her and that whole little messy situation. Carlos point blank asked, "Do you think Tiffany is messy?" And Destiny says, "Hex to the yeah." Okay. And Tiffany hates that she feels that way. Now, Melody, interjects, okay, big sister almighty, okay. She feels like the situation with Tiffany carried on for a very long time and that Destiny never really got over it. And Destiny felt like she never really got a real apology from Tiffany, although I thought she did. Anyway, as Tiffany is trying to explain herself, Destiny is just basically over in her chair, rolling her eyes, flipping her hair, flipping them curls, and then Tiffany ends up calling Destiny judgmental. In my opinion, Destiny still has a chip on her shoulder for Tiffany. But is she right to do so at this point? I think at a certain point in time, I feel like Destiny really kind of just let Tiffany slide on that messy moment, even though she seemed to accept Tiffany's apology, because I feel like even coming into this reunion, she just had like no time for Tiffany at all. Tiffany, at the end of the day, she was messy when she came into the scene. I think we all would have respected Tiffany a bit more if Tiffany had just said, I said it because I'm that B and that's what I do. I keep things real. That's how we met or whatever like that. But what Tiffany does is, and it's sometimes very frustrating for us viewers, is that you were purposely being messy and now you don't own up to it. And we as viewers don't tend to respect that. We don't, because it becomes very apparent. Melody interrupts them and says it hurts that they are where they are. And is it something deeper? Carlos then asks about Melody and Destiny and says that Tiffany is really just a byproduct of the issue with Melody and Destiny. This, to me, is where things started to get really interesting. Because Destiny is confused about the relationship between her and Melody. And she basically reveals that they used to talk at some point in time every other day or every week. And now they don't talk at all. And she has not heard from Melody ever since filming Wrapped. What I thought was interesting was that a couple of weeks ago, when Melody and Destiny got into it on the show, Melody made this whole post on her Instagram about how they were, all good and because everybody was kind of coming at her, I think, on social media about, how, I guess maybe what they felt about her treating Destiny. My only thing about that situation is this. When it's revealed that they haven't spoken ever since, it made me reflect back on that post. And I'm like, how are you going to say that you and Destiny are good, but y'all ain't talked at all? Like, I mean, and I understand, I don't talk to all of my friends every single day. Okay. I don't. But at the end of the day, the ones that I'm like really close to, they know who they are, right? Because we do keep in some kind of contact. For Melody, it just felt really weird, okay, that you would say, yeah, we in a good space, but we ain't talked, and your friend don't know why y'all ain't talked. So if she knew why and she was okay with it, that would be one thing. But she don't know why, and she not okay with it. So y'all not in a good place, okay? You might be in a good space, but she not. And basically what it boils down to is that Melody says that when she finishes the show, and I can't necessarily say I blame her for this, but if she don't set the boundary and tell people that's what she's doing, people won't know. So basically what she said is that when she finishes filming Love and Marriage Huntsville, she takes a break from everybody. And she just goes off and she does her own thing. Now, again, you filming a show, I understand the rigors of filming a show. And because it is so taxing, and Carlos basically said that this cast, and if you're going to be on a show like this, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. when you do reality TV, you have got to give every fiber of your being to the show. There is no way around it. And when you don't, you can tell who is not giving everything to the show. I can only tell you guys that from my own perspective from doing Stripped with Bravo. If I didn't give everything to that show, it would not have been that episode would not have been what it was, because you have to literally submit to the process. And Melody, you can see that Melody and Martell, they submit to this process. They give their all, they put it all on Front Street, and so I cannot blame them for wanting to take a break. But she needs to let Destiny know, girl, I need some time away, and she failed to do that. So Destiny will always wonder where she stands with regards to their friendship. Mel and Latisha then disagree about why they stopped talking, because basically, Latisha rolls her eyes during the entire conversation segment between Melody and Destiny. Latisha still got a chip on her shoulder with Melody because she feel like basically what she's kind of seeing happen with Destiny is what happened with her. The only difference is she feels like Melody stopped talking to her when they started filming, and she was taking little petty jabs at her, which to me is partially true. Okay. But I also think that Mel was not in a good space at that point because she was going through and through and through and through and through with her husband. And I feel like Latisha, somewhat like she is with Kimmi, is extra sensitive when someone doesn't give her the level of attention that she requires as a friend. Okay. And that's just, it is what it is. This is basically what Latisha needs as a friend, as a cohort, as a consult, whoever you are in her life. She needs you there front and center. And when you are not, she is not here for it. Okay. So she's rolling her eyes. Okay. Tines, thank you for the super chat. It says, I can understand taking a break and recharging your mental battery. Love you. Yeah, I think we can all get that, but you gotta let the people know, right, Tines? You gotta let them know. Ain't nothing wrong with taking some time away from yourself. I mean, for yourself to get yourself together. We all need that. Absolutely. Miss Brooks says, I know decompressing from stressful situations is mandatory for different reasons. Absolutely. So then Mel and Latisha get into it about why they stopped talking on the show. Latisha basically dismisses her and says, yeah, okay, that sounds good. Latisha says she doesn't think that Mel knows how to be a good friend. Let me ask y'all a question. Do you agree with Latisha, or do you think that it is Latisha who doesn't know how to be a good friend? Who does not know how to be a good friend in this group? Is it Mel or is it Latisha? And just answer me in the chat what your opinion is. Let me know. Mel wants to know why Latisha is getting so turned up with her. And then Latisha says she's not. But I'm going to tell you the truth. Latisha definitely got turned up. Okay. But I ain't mind it. Okay. I honestly didn't mind it. I feel like Latisha doesn't always do enough speaking up in her marriage. So in this friend group, it's nice to see her vocalizing what she thinks. I don't always agree with it, but I do think it's important for her to share whatever she feels her truth is. But when it comes to Kimmi, I don't think she do the best at defending herself. Okay. And we're going to get into why in 1 second. So a lot of people feel like both of them don't know how to be a good friend. So I'm not mad at her for speaking up, but because I feel like you need to do that on these types of shows. Ariana says, I agree with Tish. Mel never owned up to trying to tear down Latisha's marriage, which is the next point that I want to get into, because basically Mel doesn't hold on. I lost in my notes real quick. Hold on. what's basically going to happen with Latisha and Melody is, I feel like, I don't know. They have a very weird relationship to me. It feels almost like, because you're going to see that they're going to get to a point where they try to make peace with each other, but I don't know if I believe that if they really come to that place where they're going to really make peace or whatever. Destiny, basically does not know where her relationship is going to go with Melody, and she does want some answers. Mel, Mel tells her this. Well, I'm sorry that you're hurt. And I'm sorry that you feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that sounds so dismissive. If this is my girlfriend or if this is my friend or whatever like that, I just feel like if my friend came to me and says, you know what, I'm hurt and I'm confused by why we haven't spoken or whatever, you know what, I would be like, honestly, you know what, girl, I'm so sorry. When I finish this show, I need to take a break. I should have communicated that to you. There is no issue that I have with you, and let's hug it out right now. Let's talk or whatever. Because I feel like that would have smoothed things over with your friend. Because sometimes we have to give a little to, sometimes, I don't know, reassure our friends, because clearly at this point in time, it feels like Destiny needs some type of reassurance from Melody that she is still there for her. And I don't feel like she's getting that from Melody. But you know what is funny to me? That situation kind of mirrors the relationship breakdown between Kimmi and Latisha. If you think about it, it is a situation where, Latisha is feeling as though she is not getting what she needs from Kimmi as a friend. And so it is causing a strain on their relationship. So interestingly enough, we got Latisha and Destiny sitting on the same side, and they both have expectations from their friendships with both Melody and Kimmi, and they're not getting their expectations met. Did y'all even notice that? I did not notice that. That's something right there. Okay, that is something right there. All right. Anyway, next up we got Latisha versus Kimmi. All right. Carlos says, where did things go wrong? Kimmi feels like it is because she stayed friends with Melody when Melody and Latisha were going at each other, tearing each other down. Okay. Latisha says, Mel was trying to destroy my marriage. And then they go down the rabbit hole of whether or not Melody was trying to destroy her marriage or not. Okay. Melody claims that she was talking about things that she knew, but she never said nothing negative about Latisha, which I found laughable, because if you're coming for me or my marriage, I'm gonna still take it personally regardless. So it doesn't matter if you didn't say I was ugly. You said something ugly about my marriage. What's the difference at this point? Okay, they both things that I care about, myself and my marriage. So at this point in time, you still, whatever damage you are out there doing to my situation allegedly is still equidistant to me. Okay, it still comes back on me. All right, you still talking about me and something I'm involved in. Okay, so I understood where Latisha was coming from. However, okay, Kimmi says, I addressed both of y'all in y'all faces. And Latisha's like, well, you only did that one time. Oh, Latisha. And Kimmy's like, no. And if you would stop talking for a minute, you will finally get to hear when else I told you guys both to your face that y'all need to stop what y'all was doing. And then she basically tells us a situation wherein apparently they were in Gatlinburg and Kimmi addressed both of them, and they both agreed that they would both stop lying on each other. That is Kimmi and Melody. And she told both of them to their faces that they needed to stop. And this apparently was not seen on camera. So for whatever reason, since the audience didn't see it, she feels like Latisha used that as a way to continue the narrative that Kimmi never stood up for her and had her back with the situation with Melody. I was like, ooh, baby. And I wish Carlos, let me say this. At that point in time, y'all should have went back in time and pulled up that footage, if you possibly can, of that never before seen moment, because it would have done a whole lot for us. A whole lot to justify and really back up what Kimmi is saying. Because here's the thing, Kimmi don't really have no backup on this show. Maurice don't really back her up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they may be backing it up on each other, at home and in the bed, but he don't really back her up when she needs it the most. So she definitely could have used that footage, okay, in the background, or as a flashback to let the audience see exactly what they was talking about. But I'm assuming that if they both said that they was lying, then that's probably something they wouldn't want to use. Okay. Anyway, Latisha keeps saying that she goes hard for her friends, and Kimmi is like, girl, when have you gone hard for me? Okay. Latisha says, well, I did you a bridal shower. No. Here's the thing. Latisha is equating the things that she does for Kimmi in good times as her having her back. But she wants Kimmi to have her back nonstop, no questions asked in the bad times. But Latisha seems unwilling to also have Kimmy's back during the bad times, which is exactly what Kimmi is asking for. So the problem is Latisha be asking for stuff from her friend that she not willing to give herself. It don't really make no sense to me, okay? Now, Carlos then asked this question. Oh, Carlos, baby, you... Oh, Carlos says, Kimmi, is Latisha too immature to have these conversations? And Kimmi smartly swerves on that one, okay? Because at the end of the day, I think what we can all recognize is that Latisha does need a little bit of growth in that area, right? She is a little bit on the spoiled side, which she readily admits. And so I think therein lies the issue wherein she is just so spoiled that she's used to getting everything she wants from the people around her. And, at the end of the day, Kimmi's like, I can't give you everything, girl. I can't be that for you. All right? I can't. We got a super chat from Adrian who says, Mel only spoke about Marcel cheating to clap back at Tisha for reveling in Mel's public humiliation. But I think Tisha knows Mel was telling the truth, and that's what she's mad at her. Ooh, thank you, Adrian, for lighting us up with that. So then Carlos asked Kimmi, if you weren't married into this family, would you be friends with Latisha? Kimmi says no. Survey says no, ma'am. Okay. I got to tell y'all the truth. That had to be very hurtful to hear. Okay. But I don't blame Kimmi for speaking her truth. Okay, because ultimately it would have sounded like a lie if she said that she would, because ultimately Kimmi is like, I don't have this type of energy in my life. And then, Latisha's like, well, I wouldn't be friends with her either. Like, oh God. I don't know. I was like, wow, at that point. Ariana says, I felt like Tish had to defend Kimmi with the side chick issue and defends Kay's marriage, which I'm sure took a lot of loyalty after Kyle was her sister first. Thank you for that. Effie says, sometimes the truth hurts. Okay. During the break, Latisha really goes hard at Kimmi because Kimmi, I guess, laughed when Carlos was talking about Miss Wanda going off on Kimmi and saying that Latisha never stood up for her. She literally kind of laid into Kimmi when she finally, she says that she She did check her mom, but Kimmi said it was much later. Melody tries to interject, but Latisha basically says, I am talking to the person in the relationship that I actually care about. I'm not talking to you. And I was like, now, Melody, you might have wanted to stay on out of that one because that was betwixt the two of them. And by this point in time, Latisha is already hurt, so she was taking no prisoners. That's when Melody gets up in her face and basically is like, girl, I was never saying anything about your marriage. I was not saying anything about you personally. I was talking about your marriage. Caramel Cutie says, Carlos was a beast with the questions last night, and I loved it. I loved it too, man. It was the honesty of that question for me. You know what I'm saying? It was the honesty of, would you ever be friends with her if you weren't married into the family? You know what I'm saying? That was lit for me. That was it for me. I was like, that was some real talk right there. Anyway, let's get further into it. Melody and Latisha finally decide to let the past go into the past, and they come to a little truce. Yada yada yada. Next is Miss Wanda versus Miss Vanessa. Miss Vanessa says it was very hard to watch Mel and Martell go through everything that they went through. Miss Vanessa basically feels like the kids feel like Martell did the damage to their family. Hold on. Miss Brooks says Kimmi knows how to orate. Proper use, okay? And was very diplomatic in her responses. Kimmi kept it so honest without being cruel, and I was all for it. I was too, to be quite honest with you. I was too. I mean, I can't even lie. And you know what Latisha was really mad at the most? The fact that Kimmi did not, I guess, really stand up for Marceau when everybody was coming at Marceau about their relationship or something like that. And Kimmi was like, this is what you mad at me about? This is what it is? Carlos, are we done yet? Anyway, now here's basically we get into a discussion about why Miss Wanda was trying to get Mel and Martell back together. Time Up Love says, where's Dr. Francis in my Miss Lawrence voice? Where is he? Where is Phaedra? And Miss Van is like, Miss Wanda just like to hear herself speak. Probably so. Okay. They go back and forth about whether or not why Melody would ever listen to Miss Wanda or not or whatever. And that's what Miss Wanda basically tells her. Well, I mean, you should be telling her about how to do these sex tapes because that's what you got doing. That's what you was doing out here in these streets. And maybe if you was coaching her about these tapes, then she would still be in her marriage. And Martell is over there just snickering and cracking up. And so in my mind, and so at that point, Melody is like, oh, we got the tapes. We got the tapes. And all I am picturing in my head is the visual of Mimi Faust dangling on that shower rod. Okay. And I didn't even see that whole tape, but that's the little bit of images that I did see that was floating around out there of her dangling from the shower rod. And in my mind, I'm saying to myself, Melody, no, please tell me you was not dangling by the shower rod as well. Destroy those tapes now, okay? Just destroy them. Please do yourself a favor and destroy those tapes. I don't have no problems with people making tapes and whatever you want to do. Make a tape, make a recording. I don't care what you do because it's in the privacy of your own relationship and your own home or whatever, not and like that. But the problem comes in when you end it and you end on a real vicious note with that person, and that person could have the tapes and whatnot. No, you don't want to put yourself in that type of situation. So y'all need to make some type of agreement that them tapes is going to be destroyed, baby. Destroy them, because I don't want to see nothing about neither one of y'all dangling from no shower curtain, no lampshade, no pole, no column in your home, no table, no couch, no stairs, none of it. Okay. Anyway, Carlos wants to know what the tapes are. Latisha then jumps in to save Miss Wanda, okay, because she's like, Miss Wanda hears things online and she repeats them, and that's a problem. Now, Carlos asks if Miss Vanessa and Maurice and Marceau's brother dated. Where is the brother? Can the brother be on next season? Because the brother get a lot of play. Actually, bring on the brother and Patricia, and we're going to have some things going on. Now, was Patricia with that brother? Okay, because then we got a real show. Carlos, where I need Patricia, I need the brother, okay? I need both of them next season. I don't know if they was together or not, if it was them, but we need them on the show because they're gonna get the party jumped off, okay? They're gonna get the party jumped off. I want to know if there was the married couple, because then we got another triangle right here. We got Patricia, who seems like she moved on with her life. Then we got the brother, and then we got Miss Vanessa, who claims she was only friends with Marceau and Maurice's brother. But you know, Martell, his messy self, he's like, well, won't you driving down 5 hours to see this man? Won't you driving down to his house like that? And I was like, I cannot believe he is talking to Miss Vanessa this way. That is your mother-in-law. I mean, or whatever. What I mean, do they call him the mother-in-law when they divorce? Well, that's the kid's grandmama. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm like, yes, come on. Can we get Miss Patricia and the brother on the line? What's the brother's name? Somebody type it in the chat because I know somebody know. And Miss Wanda is swearing up and down that because it's online, it is true. Now, we get into Miss Wanda, okay? Miss Wanda feels like Kimmi is a snake. Kimmi feels like Miss Wanda and Latisha have each other's back. And Kimmi says, and I feel Kimmi on this. Kimmi, Mark. The brother's name is Mark. Please add, or is it Van? Mark. Mark, yes. Bring on Mark and Patricia next season, okay? Now, Kimmi feels like she has taken enough of Miss Wanda and Latisha and her family coming at her. And I don't disagree with that. I agree. She has taken quite a bit. But Miss Wanda delivers listen, you can call Miss Wanda what you want. But Miss Wanda is shady boots. And she delivered what a massive shade moment, so casual that I was like, and this is what I mean by, and see, because she's a little wiser, or she more experienced, she know what shade is, and she knows how to deploy it when necessary. She says this: I don't have an issue going back and forth with Kimmi because she's close to my age. So we talking woman to woman. It ain't like talking her and Latisha talking. This is like woman to woman chat. Basically, she calling Kimmi out on her age. And when she delivered that line, I was like, now I don't know how old Kimmi is. I knew she was a tad bit older than Maurice, but the way Miss Wanda slid that dig up in there, I was like, ooh, baby, that was a read, okay? That was a read. Miss Wanda, listen, you don't gotta like her or not, but she delivered that, all right? Ariana Fox says, Miss Wanda is my favorite castmate. She's so messy and country. All the mamas are gorgeous. Yes, baby, I agree with you 100%. DH says this show's fatal flaw is too many critical people aren't allowed on the show. Ooh, the other brother, the mistress. Okay, DH, the mistress. And P.S. I am bothered by Martell copying Mel's holiday photo with the kid. Sad face. Thank you for that super chat. Time Up Love says Wanda shaded herself because of Kimmi close to her age. We still can't tell. Y'all are so funny. So Carlos basically says he feels like Kimmi is just giving up. Kimmi says she's only talking to people that can hear her at this point. And she doesn't have the capacity to give them what they want. Latisha, this is the classic example of what is wrong with Latisha, and I'm going to explain it to you in one sentence. Latisha then repeats what Kimmi says and says, well, I too will only talk to people that can hear me. And Kimmi isn't owning up to my feelings. What? Why would Kimmi own up to your feelings? They are yours, not hers. Okay? This is, I mean, the thing about it is, she could not accurately articulate what she was trying to say in that moment. I know what she was trying to say, but it was just funny to me that it came out that way, because that's really what this is all about. It is really about Latisha's feelings and everybody sort of catering to what she feels in each moment. Okay? I was just like, oh no, oh no, oh no. That's when we get into whatever that moment was, and we find out what, that it was, Kimmi not having, she felt like Kimmi didn't have her back when the world was against her and Marcel. Bottom line. Marcel feels like it's difficult for any of the relationships on the show, particularly Latisha and Kimmi's, because social media is in the middle of all their drama. I don't know if I agree with that part with Kimmi and Latisha, but I mean, he may know more than I know. At the end of the day, they get into a conversation about who's Carlos's favorite. Melody says Martell loves being the victim. They squabble over whether or not he wants to be with her or not. Carlos then announces that they're getting another season, and then Jalen comes out with some black champagne, and he's instructed to sit next to Destiny. And even though she acting like she don't want him there, we know she secretly is excited, okay? And listen, Destiny, you single and ready to mingle, okay? So then they cheers to a fantastic new season. The end. My biggest question about this whole situation is, Carlos, where was that scene where the black SUV pulled off, making it seem like Melody had walked off the set, okay? That is my biggest question. I'm going to ask you that question the next time. If I ever get another opportunity to interview you, I'm going to ask you that question, because when we discussed it in the interview, you said we would get to see where that moment came in. And unless I missed it, okay, and unless it was maybe put together in some type of creative fashion, I did not see it, okay? I did not see it, and I like to see all of my scenes that come in the trailer in the show, all right? That's it. Guys, listen, it's time for brunch. It's Sunday. Let's go ahead and get this brunch day popping. We got Portia's Family Mess tonight, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City tonight. Y'all make it do what it do today. Y'all know that I love y'all, and I will catch you guys in the next video.